guys, I'm just taking a few minutes here to make sure that I'm set up on the back end, because the one thing I want to make sure I do is that this doesn't completely stop when if there is any sort of disconnects, which I know is what was happening yesterday. That's why it had to happen like 5 times. And I'm also doing one other thing, which hopefully goes okay. I just want to sort one thing, and then we should have JScript here in a few minutes, and then we will get cracking. Thank you all for being here for day 2 of me botching up how to do this. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, I think the Streamlabs thing is just not going to work. I was trying to see could I get the chat box up at the same time, but it's not really playing. There we go. There's auto. Done anyways. That is good. Alrighty. Yeah, this chat box thing's not gonna work. Oh well. I'll keep hacking away at that. I know that's probably just something I could easily chat to someone like L5 about, but we'll do that another time. Like I said, this is not going to be a consistent thing on my end. So that's just how it is. Let me just go link this in all the various places. Just now realizing you could not hear the audio because for some reason it just decided to completely and utterly remove it. So that would have been bad if JScript got here, but we're good now. You should be able to hear that. Nice lo-fi for you. Alright, JScript's gonna be a bit late, so I'm just gonna explain all of my fuck-ups then. So, what you can see in front of you is my attempt of making a mock draft yesterday. There's many things wrong with this. One of them is I didn't realize what the minimum players were. I also forgot to stick an extra player on Judgment Day. The main issue that I had here was that minimum bid is 3k. It's also the minimum number of players is 11. The reason I did this is because this isn't updated yet. So I'm blaming Yahoos. That's exactly what I'm doing. The thing was, I was basing it off of that, which is the same rule set as last season. Instead, this season, minimum bid is 3k, similar to DCL, as well as you need a minimum of 11 players. Which means you need 9 players from your team if you have 2 captains. Or is it 8 with 3 captains? So that is the biggest issue I made. And to be fair, looking at these teams, they're incredibly unbalanced. Like, what is this, man? This is not worth the same amount as this, for example, or this. So there's a lot of changes that I needed to make. And I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to persist. Things should be a little bit better, I think, in terms of like the quality of it. I think I fixed some things. For context, guys, 20 megabits. So it's pretty grim. So hopefully all will hold up. I have also disabled the auto stop, so if I do kind of run into disconnect issues, it won't just kill stream completely, which is huge. And without further ado, we might as well just get into Take Two, guys. And I will be referring back to this because there's a lot on this that I actually do agree with. The thing is, I just need to kind of pad it out a little bit. Certain teams I just don't quite have right. And some of these budgets, I know people were saying that some of my numbers might be a bit high or a bit low in cases, because with 3k min, like if you round your team off with 9k, 3 guys, like that is your 11th, 10th, and 9th player, which means that all of a sudden you have 91k for 5 guys. Or if you are a Slate Spikers or Draft Dodgers, you have so much budget, it's not even funny. That like you can just basically spend so much budget early on. And it means the early picks are going to be crazy. And I think it might be a bit difficult to see guys go in like that 20s or like low teens maybe, because teams are just going to run out of budget because of like extravagant spending in the beginning, because they can. So that is the lay of the land, and that is why mock drafts are hard at the minute. So let's start with some things that I think are going to stay the same. I think Zing and 50, 55. I might rise that. I'd still think Undead ends up here, but I think Undead would be a little bit more. I think I'm going to stick like 28 on Undead. The reason being is, like I said, people are going to have budget, and I do think Undead gets nominated earlier than you might think. I'm still going to stick with this logic. I think this is where Lax ends up, and I think Helm. I think Lax... I'll go 43, and I think Helm for 25, I think is actually reasonable. I did say 25. I raised you to 27. Yeah, we'll stick with 27. Why not? And I think that for a use of 70k, when you still have 9 guys left and you have 80k on your budget, is quite good. I do think then we want to focus on 100p as well as on Glop. And I still stand by my placements for these. Except I'm going to stick you down for 45, because I do think you will be the second most expensive player in the pool. And I'm going to put Glop here. I don't think Glop will be as expensive. I'm going to go like 36 for Glop. I think the top 3 in my head will definitely be Zing, Craig, Lax. And in that order. I think Lax will get nominated before Craig, and that's why it'll go to Dodgers, and people I don't think will be as heavy. I think there is a world that maybe they do go for Craig and just see what happens, but I'm not sure about that as a fit. And I think Lax and Helm is a more natural pairing than something like, say, 100p Panda, which would be the duo. I also think 100p Panda will cost more than Lax plus Helm in this sort of environment. So that is what gets us to this position. So we're, we've done our main 4 once again. Just checking how everyone's doing. Yep. You can still see everything and all is good, which is wonderful. We love to see it. And let's keep going. This should be a shorter stream as well, by the way, guys, because last night's I think would have taken about 2 hours, and it's been a chaotic couple of days. Oh, there's ads on my music. Yeah, let me just mute that real quick, guys. Here we go. I'll have to keep an eye on that. That's annoying. I don't use premium, guys. There's no point. God, I'm still not used to this whole streaming thing. How the fuck do people think I'm entertaining? They don't. Let's be real here. So we get past those 4, and it gets us back to this section that I spoke about yesterday, of guys like Tidal, Kyle, Panda's another one that comes up here, Agency, Undead I've kind of already covered on, these 2 guys, and then, I might split off, and Josh. And maybe TDG, because I think I did get this price wrong. What is, I think, where he goes. I do think TDG ends up here. And I think like 25 maybe? Because we go to signups here. You look at TDG. Where are you gone? You're unavailable pre-mids. So the one thing with TDG that happens a lot is that pre-mids he ends up playing Swish, and then post-mids he ends up switching to something like SV. Is typically SV. And I think TDG will mostly end up playing SV on this team. So I do think he will be cheaper than the rest of these guys. I'm actually going to lower this. I'm going to go 22. Because I think TDG will go still early enough, because we all know what TDG is capable of, especially in DPL, where he has an incredible track record, especially in SV. So I do think he will go, and I think it makes sense for huge power. And TDG is just that guy. I'm gonna say it now. I think a lot of what I've done here for huge power makes. The only one that I'm maybe having second doubts about is Josh, and I might end up sticking him somewhere else that maybe I wouldn't have thought in the first place. So we might as well keep going here. I'm gonna stick with what I said in regards to a couple more people that I'm just going to stick down right now. I'm not going to stick prices by them right now. I think Agency goes here, pretty obviously. I think And I've actually changed my mind on where Kyle's going to end up. I think Kyle's actually going to end up on Nature's Guardians. And that is because I do think they need the SV player. And I'm not 100% sure that Toe want to deal with, an SV drafting presence when they could maybe get one for a slightly different price. Actually, no, I've played this the wrong way around. No, I don't. I think Tidal ends up here, and I think Kyle ends up here. I think Kyle here. That's someone of interest that I think could end up. I still think Hydra ends up here too, for what it's worth. But I also still think J-Scarf ends up here. We're actually going to come back to Hydra. Hydra is an interesting case because a lot of these teams are actually covered for Swish. So I actually think there's a world that Hydra ends up here as a Swish player. And that is because I have Swish. I don't think Zing is going to end up playing that tier. And Undead, as much as he loves the Gauntlet, I think you do need to put a Swish player beside him. So I think Hydra makes some ounce of sense there. And I think Kyle is just a sensible pick for Nature's Guardians. It gives them that strong SV presence when I don't think any of their captains are really going to be playing SV. So, it checks out. Still going to put J-Scarf here, who should be here in a few minutes. I'm still going to put him here because I just think that is the logical fit. There's a chance he ends up Skeletals, for example, or maybe ends up with Big Dogs, but Big Dogs I wouldn't be super convinced about that as an idea. I'm going to keep him there for now. I'm just going to rattle off some names and we're going to get to prices a little bit later. Because I think my viewing on prices will very much depend on who I think ends up winning. So let's refer back to this real quick. My opinions on Harris have slightly changed. Sablo, Josh, I think a lot of these guys could end up in different places. And Panda, another one that I do think is going to end up in a different spot to what I expected. And I just need to figure out the right configuration for this. Because I did do some thinking about this earlier today, guys, but not a huge amount, because I've had a bit of a chaotic couple days. So, let's think this through here live together, shall we? Because do I think that Harris and AM... I think AM on Big Dogs is correct. I think AM on Big Dogs is correct. I think there is a world that we see Josh and Hunter paired together again on a team that does need Auras as well as some like Swish / maybe SV. And that's why my brain kind of goes to maybe these guys is where they would end up. Panda, I think, because Panda, once again, another SV main. I think a team like Big Dogs, when they already have Hapless Jaship, who I think are going to be your two main SV slots a lot of the time, I don't think they need him. They need Old Gen, and they need Old Gen badly. So that covers your Swish. Yeah, this is why I liked the Harris pick for them, because he is Usum. So I think this 3 makes sense. I think Kyle and J-Scarf makes sense. Agency, we'll get to, I might as well. I still stand by the Bobbert and Mainu picks. I do think this is something that's going to happen. I think these 3 covering your modern gens where you have Addy, you have Rye or Gypsy to cover Oris, and then you, Usum is one of those tiers where in this you can definitely get an Usum guy for cheaper than you might think that you could. Who's winning? L5? I don't have a clue. I haven't figured that part out yet, but we'll see. Speaking of Mr. King L5, if you guys missed it yesterday, which was meant to be today, I just forgot that I changed it, uploaded episode 2 of TJ's Throwbacks, which I was joined by the wonderful Mr. King L5 as we chatted through some of the big games of his career. Honestly, really, really nice to sit down with him. It was a really interesting conversation about some of the games. A lot of those games I hadn't seen for a long time, and some of them, maybe sometimes you just look at passively and don't realize the good parts about it, but it's cool to see it from someone else's perspective, and that's why I like that series a lot. So do check it out. after the stream if you're interested, or even if you just want to go watch it right now. I don't care. I'll leave that link somewhere. This gets tricky. I think Wombo stays here. I think Wombo definitely stays here. Wombo just screams this team. And the thing is, even if Wombo's not like 100% performing, he can play in a bunch of different tiers. I think that makes sense. And yeah. The big thing is where else some of the other ones that I've already said are shouts that I like. So Wyatt here, Void of Darkness here. I think Void of Darkness is a very Trickify-coded player in terms of how he preps and how he builds. Sorry, how he builds, how he drafts, his approach, that sort of thing. I think that's very much on Eye and Sky's radar. Makes a lot of sense. And I think Wyatt staying here after his fantastic TWL makes a lot of sense. I'm going to keep Greg here. And that's because I think this is a team that can do with just a good pilot Newsome, because you have so many capable builders across this team. I think Greg makes a ton of sense for this team. So I'm going to keep Greg there. And Gypsy does like to take an old head, so I think that might not be the only, older name that you do see them taking. Then things get a little bit more. So who do I still, of kind of those top names, have I not dealt with? Sablo, Josh, Hunter. I'm leaning Sablo here because I think that Josh and Hunter end up together. I'm going to slap a 20 on you. I think you're going to be like 15. I'm going to say Josh is like 30 just because of last season MVP tax. So that leaves them with 35k, which, yeah, makes sense. I do think these sorts of teams are going to splash out their budget heavy early on, so this makes a lot of sense to me. And does that cover all of kind of the main ones that I wanted to cover? Are all of these top 2 picks for every team covered now? Yes. Then we get to guys like Bacon and Jimmy, and we will get to that. Okay. Right, let me stick some prices here. I think agency will be 30k. I know that sounds obscene, consistent performer, and I think people are going to aggro upbid Addy for agency. I think Bobbert, I know I said 17 yesterday, that's probably a bit high. I think if I swap these around, I think Mainu might be the more, yeah, I think both of them, and then Greg for like 7. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Kyle, I think, is another that I'm gonna go will be less than agency because it'll get nominated later. So we'll go 27. No, we'll go 28. We'll go same as Undead. And J Scarf, we'll go 22. So that leaves them 50k for 9 players. Yeah, that makes sense. Trickify love to go kind of cheap, so I'm gonna go 21 for title. And Void, I think he's gonna set them back like 15k. I'm gonna go similar enough for Wyatt. And then over here, well, will be more expensive than them two. I'm gonna go 17k. And I'm gonna say Sablo is like a 20k. Sablo has been very cheap in these events recently, but I think realistically there is kind of a lack of ores. And I think Sablo will get nominated earlier here than he has been in some other events. And that's why we have seen Sablo go for 6k in DCL, as well as I think it was 8k in DWL. So Harris is just another one of these, I think is a consistent 20k. And then, as it used to be, I'll go 16. That's... No, AM's in the wrong place here. I just think AM over here could make sense. Yeah, because Harris can cover Horus if he absolutely has to. No, I'm gonna stick with that. 19k, what's that put their max bid at? 4k. Yeah. No, I think... maybe. I'll get back to AM. I think AM's the one that I might have messed up here. So let's keep going through some other names that I have down here. Bacon and Roller K are two names of interest that I haven't talked about yet. Jimmy G. Actually, let me swap these around. I think Jimmy G for like 11. And I think AM for like 16. That makes sense to me. That kind of balances things out a little bit better. And this does mean that Toe have a hell of a lot more budget right now compared to everyone else. But we'll get to that. Well, let's take Count Riario down. I think I put 10 yesterday. I'm going to go slightly higher. I'm going to go 12. Because at the end of the day, I think that's someone that Zazo might outbid. That's someone that what I had in regards to Bacon, as well as with with Bacon and with Roller K. They are we're good again, guys. That is the joys of disabling auto stop, is that I can actually just get things working rather than having to make another stream. Like I said, my Wi-Fi does that sometimes. So let's get back to Panda. And the thing with Panda is that he can end up in a bunch of different places. And the thing with Panda is he can play a bunch of different, be rather expensive. I'm going to stick him here. I'm going to keep him here. And I'm going to go like 20. Well, I've just got 22. Yeah, 25 makes sense for Panda. So that means that they need, 24k for that many. Trickify having a shit ton of budget. Yeah, this makes sense compared to usual. Yeah. The only other thing now is like Slay the Spiker in terms of what they're going to do with this extra budget. And I'm going to stick two names down here that I do think will happen. And they are J. Ricky and they are Yarduk. I kept them here yesterday. And that is because I just think they're the sorts of players that Zing vibes with well. And I think these three could definitely make work. Because at the end of the day, like, these are three very active captains, and I think they will definitely be very helpful from the support process. So I think J. Ricky obviously had a fantastic SV last season that I think people can go under the radar a bit sometimes. So I do think he will go for double digits. The big thing is, of course, what do Trick of Eye do with this extra money? But this is also a trend because I feel like we've all hit a point in the auction where it's like, oh, Trick of Eye had the most money by a mile. What are they going to do with it? And let me go back to here to figure out what are they going to do with it. Because I am not certain. I'm not certain about that whatsoever. It won't be Lucas. I know that for a fact. Oh, I'm still missing Bacon and Roller K here, actually. Bacon does seem a bit like a Trick of Eye type of pick. It definitely could be here as well. And I'm going to keep Roller K here. I think for like, we'll go 9. Like, you know, he has some experience now. He still has some great results. I think Bacon will be about a 15k pickup. That's kind of what I have in my brain right now. Then I'm going to put Scrappy 10 over here. I think this is something that makes a lot of sense with these guys. We all know what L5 is like. And do I do it? Yeah, we'll do it for the vibe. 10k Scrappy 10, guys. Wait, they can't even afford that. Never mind. 8k Scrappy 10, guys. They still can't afford that. Wait, 2, 6. Right, they can't afford Scrappy 10. Can they? They can't afford Scrappy 10 based on this. Yeah. So what does Scrappy give you? I mean, let's do the next fries in the bag then. That is 7k LGM Dyna. So what? So 17k, that gives them 3. L5, since you're in chat, or Acid actually. Yeah, so I'm just checking anyone that is in here. When it says 11 players minimum, does that count the captains as 2 slots or 3 slots, guys? Because that will obviously affect my pricing, because I might have fucked up here with skill villains already. And I might end up having to move Panda accordingly. I'd love to see that energy from you, Doodles. That number was one of my most sensible ones of the day. I think that's going to be another bidding war similar to Zazo in Season 8. Bacon dropped his app. Okay, right. Scrap that then. It counts as 2 slots. Okay. So it means that everyone needs 9 players. Yeah, okay. Panda has to go then, blood. Or Wyatt. But where does Wyatt end up if it's not there? So if Bacon dropped his app, let me just clear Bacon from here. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what, actually? I have a decision now. Because, what? 3, 6, 9. No, you can afford this, actually. Because 14, 11. Yeah, 14, 11, 8, 5, 2. And you have 2 leeway. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go with this then. L5 does love his mid-bits. Or at least like close to mid-bits. So we'll stick with this for now then. What do you do instead of Bacon? Sub-Zero? Yeah, I can see them taking Sub-Zero. Won't be as expensive, obviously. Might as well get this out of the way. I still think 7 for me. We'll keep going with the obvious ones here. We'll go Fagos. I think Fagos, which will be humbling, but it's nothing I can do. We'll stick Fagos for 8.5, and I know he'll be happy with his price being increased. So that is good to see. So I can kind of leave Trickify a little bit for now. Trickify might get max players. Like, I can actually see Trickify just filling this out completely. So, that is something they do. They like big teams. For some reason. And they're not really the type to go spend 30k on something. So, I would know better than most. Some more names in terms of who do we think is kind of the next lot of players to... Lucas is one I definitely want to talk about soon. Slick is another. Scrappy is one, for sure. Paddocks is probably in that category as well, in terms of people that we definitely need to talk about sooner rather than later. Violet River, too. I keep going to the wrong tab, guys. My bad. I think Violet River ends up here again. And I'm going to go for like 5k. Yeah, I don't think Violet will be min bid because, you know, did have some impressive performances and is a good Usum player. And as I've said, Usum is kind of lacking in this tour. Speaking of lacking Usum, I'm going to stick my guy Ryan Ditto here. I think 6. I think Ryan has had quite a few impressive... No, I'll go 7 actually. Ryan's had quite a few like good tours at this point as an Usum slot, so I do think we'll get the love that he deserves. And then it gets interesting. Because... Nim's an interesting one, but obviously does have some availability issues. Lox has availability issues. Palkia is one that I do kind of want to touch on soon. Lucas is the big one. I'm going to go for the Lucas reunion here. And the reason for that is Lucas can play 3 different tiers. I think is very, very good for this sort of counter-pick format because he can play Swish to a good level, he can probably play Champions if he wanted, and he can also resort to Oros if he has to. So, I'm gonna... This looks very just old school. So I'm gonna go like 15k on Lucas here. I think Lucas will be kind of spending in this auction. Maybe goes a bit cheaper. It depends when he goes. Because Lucas is one of them that can fluctuate so much depending on when he goes in the auction. So I think the later he goes, the more expensive it'll be, interestingly enough. So, I'm just going to take a sec, guys, to figure out what everyone is kind of missing here. So you look at Trick of Eye, and I think maybe one more Aurus player would be good for this team. Because, like, it's Count and me, realistically. And I'm not sure that you really are... Well, no, Count doesn't even have Aurus down. He's Swish and Usum. So I think Tidal could end up playing some Swish. I think Sky could end up pivoting into stuff like SV if he wants to with his team, which is good. And your Aurus is Void and me. So I think just kind of more depth, especially in modern gens, something that they're going to want. Here, we've covered essentially every single, like, old gen that we needed to here. So maybe they just kind of need some fresh blood, but we know that with their budget. Here's very similar. I think it will be a case of maybe a little bit more depth in a tier such as Usum. Just so you don't have to take agency out of tiers constantly. Could be quite nice. Here, I think you're looking at an Aurus player if possible. I'm not sure if Genius is going to want to play Aurus consistently, even if he has mentioned about it in the past. Here, you guys need probably another... Like, your old gens are fairly okay, because Pyro will play Usum. Dougal might play Aurus if he has to. Rage can play Aurus as well as Swish. J-Scrape can play Swish. Kyle will just be SV most of the time. I think they're okay. I think, once again, it is kind of just more depth and some SV and Champions cover. You're the interesting one, because I spent a lot of budget on Yi already. For Yi, what's here Yi missing? You kind of do have everything covered in those first 3 picks. So, no one's like necessarily missing anything right now. It's not a case of a tier just has a major shortage. So, Slick is someone that I want to be thinking about here. And I have like a couple places in mind for Slick. I'm going to go here. Because this is the depth that he brings in a tier like Swish. So I think Slick for like 9k. I think Slick could be a good pick for this team. And makes sense. Filling out big dogs and filling out huge power, I think, are going to be my 2 main problems here. Because you've guys like Impulse, who, well, yes, I do actually have him on this team. I can't type. So we have Impulse. We'll go 6.5 actually. There's a major lack of 0.5s on this board right now. I like dealing in round numbers, guys, okay? Maybe I might stick in a couple more 0.5s for fun later. TJ, are you playing Aurus? I'll draft you for my team here. I mean, according to my sign-up, I said I'll play anything. It just very much depends on who's asking, and some tiers are going to take more convincing for me to play than others. But I'm more than happy to play Aurus in this tour, if required. Because, I love Aurus, as we know. So, just on Slick. Cup is an interesting one. I actually think Cup over here makes sense. Champions only, they do need that kind of coverage. And Cup is one of those that can very much pop off. Could maybe end up here. Could also end up here, which I believe is what I did the first time. Would slay the Spiker. Yeah, Cup and McNutt would make some sense. Yeah, let me change that. We'll stick Cup over here. Just that is a natural friendship, so there's no point trying to break that. This is where things get difficult, because I was looking to keep Garf here, because Garf is just sort of, has teamed with some of these guys before, has some good showings, and it's also an presence that's quite nice. So I think that makes sense. Speaking of kind of needs a little bit more Aurus, and has already teamed with Sablo fairly recently with Aurus CL, we're going to go Sharky, and let's take him down for 5. I don't think people are going to really upbid Sharky, but I don't think they're going to want him to go to this team for min-bid either. So that's kind of my logic there. So, who are some interesting ones? We have Hedja that I want to talk about soon. We have Jesse. We have Lux still, who I think I'm going to keep over here. I think Zaza will want Lux. I think Lux had a very impressive... No, but Lux won't typically play Aura, so I don't think he'd do that with Sharky. You know what? I'm going to stick Lux here. Wait, hang on. How are you budget-wise? 3, 6, 9. Go 5.5. So no, we'll go 6 here, and I think Impulse will actually be like 4.5. I keep forgetting Min is 3k, guys. It's throwing me for a loop right now. Berna is someone of note because there is... Yeah, where's Berna? Hycrox, I was getting to him because... Like, Berna is an important piece here because it is another Usum player. And as I said in yesterday's stream, and as I've said in chat quite a few times, Usum is not at the same level when you don't have Jake, you don't have Odin. Like, they are two mainstays in Usum in these team tours. They're just not playing this event for different reasons. Jake for burnout and Odin because he wants to get married, and that's completely fair. So where does Berna end up? So, this team's covered for Usum completely. This team, maybe. I think there's a world, but I think they might have some other ideas. That reminds me, I still haven't done Scrappy. This team, Usum. It's Undead and Violet River. I can maybe see Berna here. Usum, you have Pyro, you have Ryan. No. I actually think Berna here could make a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm gonna go Berna here. I'll go for like 4, I think. No, we'll go 5. No, we'll go 6 actually. Berna's had quite a few like good DFLs and stuff at this stage, so I think that makes a lot of sense. Another... Hang on, have I fucked... How do you only have 8k left? So 3, 6... Oh, I'm a k off. Yeah, that makes some ends of sense. In terms of Mr. Scrappy 10, who I know is kind of teamed on a bunch of different sorts of teams. Yeah. Who's like not tight on budget right now? Everyone's tight on budget. And I really don't think he takes Scrappy 10. We'll get back to Scrappy. I'm still not sure where Scrappy ends up, which is difficult. Hycrox. Hycrox is a fun one because he is that sort of player that you can get here, I think, for Hycrox. I think Hycrox is one of those sorts of players that if you get him in the right motivation, he can absolutely pop off. I'll stick him down for 4.5. Which, yeah, that makes sense. They still have room for like one more kind of expensive-ish guy. But this is also the sort of team that I think could go max players. Palkia is another one that has come up previously, and I actually think Palkia might end up here. No, I'm actually going to stick to my original. Palkia ends up over here for like 5.5. Like, Palkia does have some very good displays, and did do pretty alright for himself last EPL, so definitely does get the pickup. And I think a team like Judgment Day, who does need just a little bit more depth in that modern gen, could be quite good. Also can cover as like a flex slot in other tiers, so that's good. Scrappy. What's it? Where's you? Please, Sling Spiker. Okay. So, if you're looking at this board, guys, where does Scrappy 10 go? Because I'm not sure he's the fit here, but I also think he could be kind of expensive. What can you do max right now? I think you 2k extra. So if you take Scrappy for 5, or I change you to 6, I go Scrappy for 6. Yeah, I go Scrappy for 6, and that leaves 4 min bids, right? Yep, nailed it. Let's go. Right, so who else is of relevance that I need to discuss? Jesse's an interesting one. Venga, who I think will stay over here. I think this is another one that like did pop off previously for Zazo, and I think he will look into that. My math's struggling here. A minute. We'll go like 4. I think there could be a little bit of like a cheap army going on here. So we'll see how that leads, guys. Because yeah, I also have guys like Hacker and Hex, who I do think will be together. I'm just not sure on what team. Zombie obviously is a good pilot. We have Avocado. We have the Jesse still to talk about. Vinny, who I know I had on Trig of Eye as of yesterday, but I think... don't change the mod. Let's take Vinny here. I think that's just kind of something that can happen. We'll go for like 4.5? Yeah, 4.5. Why not? So that leaves 9k, which is 3 min bids. Sweet. I think there is going to be a lot of min bid taking just kind of at the end of this draft. It will be an interesting dynamic because it's not something we've had a lot in recent seasons. There's been a lot of just making sure that you only need your 1 over your max, so people have gone very expensive in the early. So this is going to be a very different vibe. There's also going to be a lot of people I'm going to have to put down on this that just do not know that well. So that'll be interesting. Right. Trig of Eye still have a shit ton of budget. Years, and I think this is the sort of team that can deal with Nim's availability issues that he has at times, especially in the beginning. We've seen Trig of Eye use that before with Baconborn back in Season 5, and that seemed to go relatively alright, even if Bacon didn't play that often. So that is the vibe there. I'm just going to pause this music and let it buffer for a little bit, so you're just going to be listening to my serenading tones, and only my serenading tones. So, to be honest, as a lay of the land, this isn't too bad right now. Is there anyone in particular? Like, Fierce still... Like, I know Year just min bids. Zombie, like I said, I actually think Zombie ends up here for like 4. Also wonder with these new changes to like the trade system following last year, with all the issues with you know, there's a lot of just dropping guys for free. Necessarily happens there. Different. And all is okay. Right. Some more players to do. I think Brian will end up here. Again, I'll go for like 4.5. All is good there. Yeah, that is that. So who is more than just min bid left? Would just be Dodgers. I think there will be a team that does just pick up Hacker because they need, like, they're just gonna need some Oris and some Usum. And like Hex can play a bunch of tiers to a relatively okay level. Like, there's no way Hacker goes undrafted in this. He maybe gets drafted. I doubt it though. Oh, I haven't done Lux yet. Yeah, Wrong draft. I think it's a team that does need a bit more horse, so Hunter doesn't have to cover. I think we could see Lux here. I think Lux will be one of them that kind of goes like late enough, but ends up being expensive enough because of how late they go. Natalie and Mids, yeah, that works out nicely. So yeah, we'll go 10k on Lux. You need a few more. You need some mid-bids. So I think Ab makes sense. I think let's take a good impersonators here. Although Killer Impersonator could end up on big dogs, so I think it might actually cost a little bit of money. Let's go 4. I think that could be a little bit of a back and forth bidding job. Nunj is interesting. It is Usum. And Usum is pretty good. Mishmash, does Hacker go? Does Zaza go for that again? Wrong one. I think this is the season, guys. I think this is where L5 finally takes Money Guy again. He's left them on the bench for long enough. I think this is the time for Money Guy to come home to L5. That is probably a very mild, warm take. I've lost chat here for some reason. Yeah, my YouTube bugging on the back end. Love to see it. Where is Blackbeard? Oof. Blackbeard might get drafted. I'm not gonna lie, we might actually see a Blackbeard pick. I don't know the guy well enough to like goblin, but I do think there's a chance, just especially when you do this many bids. I think he does just end up getting taken. Chryside probably does get drafted in this, just because like Chryside does have some results with him. Let me scroll through this. Ghost. I can definitely see him as a ghost. Go somewhere. Back to that Turk. You know what? Zaza loves to put faith in this man. Shit, that's the wrong one again. Definitely spelled that wrong, but I don't even care. Maybe one was like a bit more expensive just so I don't have to make extra slots or some shit. Yeah. And like maybe bump up Hycrox's price. Yeah. Hey, yeah, that checks out. Jab dot, which is just min bids. Year just min bids. Year also just min bids. So just the min bids left unless Trick of Eye have someone that I think they could take for a relatively okay fun amount of money. I don't know who that would be based on this. Because Trick of Eye Scouts can be complicated at the best of times. So, yeah, still the wrong one. I'm just going to just hide this sheet now so I can stop doing that. Or else you... No. Yeah, Acting Void is going to be more expensive now that I think about it. Yeah. So we're going to leave some money on the board, I think. Temptation is to bump up my price, but I'm actually going to bump up subs. Subs better results than I do. And I like nice numbers. That's all I care about. Dawson's and Tox's team. He won the money match. Okay. He won the money match. I will take your word for it. I don't think anyone else will take Dawson. Although I've heard, like, okay things about him as a player. I think okay definitely makes you draftable in this when it's not even 200 signups and Because it's either you end up in a case this happens, or some of these top prices are way higher than what's here. So, hard to really know. I think someone like Boas probably Boas here maybe? Yeah, I can say Boas here for like 3k. Just another Horus option for this team, which I actually think they need. Because your only Horus option here really is Jimmy, because Paris doesn't really want to play it. Garth can play it, but I think Boas here makes some sense. Yeah. It's these couple min bids for Judgment Day that I'm like not certain about. Yeah, it's these min bids for Judgment Day that occur. Very much on the fence about. Because I've ran out of guys that I'm like, yeah, no, you're definitely. Ooh, Ethab actually. Yeah, covers a few tiers, which I think is helpful. I think we'll get a couple bits. So, we'll do that. Just a couple more min bids to find, and then this is completed. Which is very nice. Alright, let me go through this list again, because there's a lot. I do have chess. I don't think chess goes. Chess hasn't played for long. 64 squares. That's someone that will go. Just on raw like playability. We'll go like here. No, actually, we'll go here. And this is definitely not in chronological order, guys, in terms of like who gets nominated. Volt Ninja's fairly okay. Fuck Bud. Dashing Sceptile. Teriso. Maybe just for sheer activity. You see like Teriso here. Maybe. Because like this definitely does seem like. Oh, and there's Fierce Flamethrower. They're far more likely to get Fierce Flamethrower than Teriso. There's no way that. Yeah, I think Flamethrower and Onion, just as like two cheap guys that. Do I think they go Teriso as well? I don't know. It depends on their scouting. Covered Money, Mish. I don't think he's getting picked up. And Log-Ice, I think will get picked up. I think Log-Ice here is my kind of inclination. It's Fergie for 3. This is hard. Ooh, Genesect. Maybe you don't take Zombie. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Zombie ends up like here. Still. I can see that. The Zombie is a good player. Yep, just making sure that we're still going. We are, which is nice. Offering again. Let me just... Yeah, that's... He's almost home. Wow. Good job, J-Scurf. Proud of you. Where am I? Where's Hex pairing in 2 slots? Did I not delete it from 1? I forgot to delete it from bloody Dodgers. God. No. That actually... Okay. That solves that problem. God, I'm running out of guys that I know. Are like... Were you actually living in a world where Spoink could... Here we go, you're back. I think I just had to drop in things again. I love what I do.
No worries. Classic. I'm happy to look through with you.
Yeah. There we go. I've sent you that doc now. And hopefully...
Oh yes, if you send me a link to this, that should be much easier.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've done. Because,
Yeah, no, that's a good plan. I rate that.
It's a far easier plan than, oh yeah, hop on stream and deal with the lag.
Yeah, let me try to decipher the little window on your stream. Okay. And I just need access.
Oh, it didn't give it to you? The issue with it is you either have an army of min-bids, or you have those top prices being even spennier, which I know people were judging my prices before, so... Which, like, it's hard to know how it's going to go when it's a 200-person sign-up event.
Okay, perfect. Take now. Okay.
Hey.
Okay, well, I see lots of stuff going on, so I should go to signups breakdown to tell you.
Signups breakdown and
go
in the
out of this
IGK
pool.
section.
Okay, well, I think Nim is a team tour.
Oh, I didn't put Nim in.
Well,
no, I did put Nim in. Yeah, no.
Nim is not going to be a min bid. In fact, I think Nim is going to be much closer to like
I moved Nim
6
up.
to 10k.
That was when it was only like 60 people. When I thought the numbers were different. So yeah, I think Nim would be like 6k.
I agree, and he's been on Trick of Eye before, so I actually think he fills that slot pretty nicely.
Yeah, and they kind of covered Nim's tiers in the weeks that he's not there already pretty okay. And it's very Trick of Eye-ish to... It's also very Trick of Eye-ish for... I'll play around with a few things.
Well, I've scrolled through the list, and I know who the min bids are based on the list.
You know who the min bids?
Yeah, I got some for you.
Give me some names.
Actually, have you put this guy in? Oh, you have. Okay, so you haven't been crossing them out. Okay, so that makes.
Oh
it
no, I
harder.
haven't. Sorry. I should probably start deleting some. So.
I was gonna say because I was gonna say, oh, Garf, he has to be on the list. Like he had a great PPL last time, and now he's back, but now he's not available. So that makes things a bit more complicated. Have you put? No, you have. Okay. Teresa is definitely a maybe at this point. Okay, so you did have him. I mean, Volt Ninja could make his return.
Volt Ninja.
That's a name I'm seeing.
Yeah. Ghost is another one I'm thinking.
Would usually see her going to a court of her friends.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing anyone where I think they'd be expressly interested. Oh, you know what? Actually, someone who I know is going to get picked up is Blackbeard. Have you been watching his videos?
Oh, they're hilarious. I was gonna put Blackbeard in like last as a meme, so I just didn't know where. But no, I do think he will get picked up, especially if people that have this much budget.
It's a bit of a meme, but like Blackbeard's gonna get picked up. I've even heard people saying they're gonna like early-ish nom him, stuff like that. But like honestly, I've talked with him and I've seen some of his games. I think he is a new player with some potential as well. I don't think it's 100% meme or anything. So in this type of player pool, like sure, why not?
Who's the memeiest? You know what? Big Dogs. That seems like quite a memey team. So there we go. There we go. Blackbeard enjoyers.
I mean, Dashing Kevs. That's a strong contender.
Dashing Kevs is a strong contender
for the meme. Yeah, looking at the list, it's hard to honestly fill all these slots out. So, yeah,
like,
no, it's a struggle.
Yeah, because on playing ability, I'm like maybe Nunj, like maybe VM Nunj gets a return after like 7 EPL seasons.
Yeah.
Just because like Usam is a lacking tier.
Etha B, like Ethan, like that guy. Ethan went last time in DPL, so
yeah, no,
you do have him in. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're low on options. I mean, yeah, I think I think Blackbeard's gonna be one of them. I think DJS would be one of them at this point. I also think Jeremy would probably get taken now. This is a flex format, which is good for him, and he's coming off a strong DFL. An okay Switch tour. I do think Jeremy quite some potential to be drafted.
And I think Old Head could be like a true fighter.
I'd slot him in.
Yeah.
Also a former DPL regular.
Yes, for sure. Anyone else here was that at DFLs that I remember / don't remember?
I mean, DJS was good, and I'm gonna keep vouching for him. I've played him 3 times this
DJS,
circuit actually, which is hilarious. I'm 100% sure if the board broke like this, I think he would get taken just because I think he's been
I'll stick him
consistent.
I'll stick him there for now. Yeah, we'll stick him there.
I see a name where I'm like, I know a specific team would take this guy, but I know, or like low QP, like that type of captain, where they like care about like if someone fits in smaller team tours and they're like, this guy's potential.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's strong in a lot of these tours, not just like farming competition. I don't know. If I was captaining, I would potentially take a chance on him. So maybe him.
Yeah.
Another one I see is Blitzberg, who's made a bit of a comeback. It took him a while to get back into the swing of things, but now he's starting to win games again, I think. So
yeah,
I can
like
see
he's
that.
what, 5-1 in seasonal, and is doing fairly alright in other places. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, because like again, there's gonna be captains.
The real question is prices, because some of these might.
You want me to start taking a look?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Roast the shit out of me.
I'll start looking at Trick of Eye.
Did King Choco sign up? No, not yet.
Trick of
I
Eye.
think if he did,
I think that's more than Title's gonna go for, considering DWL. But I do think
Yeah.
she won't come cheap, so I think it's fine. A little high on Void, perhaps, and then from here, like honestly, I would kind of balance Void and Sub-Zero out. I think Sub-Zero's been really strong recently, and Void is still pretty fresh. So I think it would be more like 15k Void and like 12k Sub-Zero, if anything.
yeah, I just wasn't sure if Sub would go to double digits. I think it depends when he gets auctioned. Same with
I think
Void.
he will.
But
I
I'm happy
think
to do that.
like in DWL, he had a bunch of strong wins. He flexed. He was Craig's only loss. And there's also the tax of like whatever team gets Glop is gonna be like forced to bid on him quite a bit. So
yeah, good point.
I think a bit you balance those two out and the budget still works, but I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Go villains, this makes sense. I don't really see anything that's surprising me too much. Oh, cool that you have Wildcat getting drafted. He's been good. So I see it as well.
A cheeky, I saw this guy do well in a seasonal. Let me punt on him for 3k, and typically they do well. So I think Wildcat fits the bill.
I mean, L5 does this every time. He did it with Wyatt. He did it with PTK.
He
So
did it with Scribble.
yeah.
So
like I see it.
yeah.
And Vergi's also been incredible lately in the tours he's played in. So I think he'll be
He's
back.
definitely getting picked up.
Mhm.
So
For some flexibility, although he's been really, this team makes sense to me though, like roster wise, maybe a bit like round, like they don't really have like a star player outside agency, which can get a bit tricky.
That's one problem solved. Next problem solved is will my Discord connect? Which I hope so. Just refresh that real quick. And yeah, that's... I think there probably is some ones that I did miss out on here. In terms of Penguin going to Spikers, I could definitely see that. Maybe over Noz. There we go. Reconnected. Hello, Jason.
Took a second.
Yeah. So, just Wi-Fi decided, no, fuck you.
All good. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
Is your stream running again?
I believe so.
Okay. Everyone is saying you gotta turn it down even further. I know yesterday you tried 4K, but now they're saying it's like we're going down to like 720 or something.
Yeah, we're going down to 7. We're going down to 720. You know, we're figuring this out as we go. I think everything's back to normal now. So, wait, hey, I can see the stream again on my end. Wonderful.
That's sensational stuff.
Note to self,
Okay.
30 FPS for these things. But yeah, so anyways, the last I heard of you was you just finished Judgment Day and was meant to move on to Slay the Spiker. So I think that's the last stream.
I mean, goes without saying that's one of the two teams that could drop a bag on Zing and then go like 55-ish K, so that makes sense to me. Undead also makes sense to me. I don't think we've ever seen him near that price, but I think like off reputation at this point, that's not like I'm surprised. I still think you're a bit high on Hydra because although there's not that much SS in the draft pool, most captains have it, so they're not going to super heavily compete for it. And also, like, stacking him up against the captains, not that he's like a bad player or anything, Hydra's great, but like comparing him to the actual SS players, like he's probably on like the lower end of the starters. Obviously a lot better than like most of the double players or things like that. But like he's like typically on matchup like
I think the main logic that I have
disadvantage. So 20k seems a bit much, but it might be out of necessity. But like I even think you're slightly low on Yurdunk, who I think he had like a troll reputation for quite some time, but he's just put up nothing but strong results for a really long time. So I could definitely see him even being. But like J Ricky makes sense. He had one bad tour, one really good tour. So I think overall he's still viewed pretty highly. And like the rest of the team makes sense to me. Yeah, no real qualms with that. I see the stream buffering, so I hope that's okay.
Yeah, no, we're good.
We're good. Okay, well,
good.
moving on to Nature's Guardians, my team. Me, Kyle, AM22. Oh, I hear you now.
Yeah, no, perfect timing where it just decides, as soon as I say we're good, it just dies and then refuses to let me connect.
No elaboration, yeah. Well, anyways, I think you're too low on Slick. He's been really expensive for a long time now. So I doubt someone gets him on that much of a discount.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on Slick's price because he kind of does have a bit of a wide range.
He does, but recently, if you've looked at DWL, DCL, DPL, I think it's been strictly like 15 to 20k, which is a lot.
Okay, yeah, maybe I am being too nice then on Slick.
I just, because I bid on him in the auctions, but then I like tap out or at like double my
makes sense.
bid that I drop, and I'm like, damn, like he always keeps going for a lot. And not even undeserved or anything, just like, yeah, he's been expensive. But I mean, that I guess probably makes the price list look a bit different, like the extra 2k on the end and one of the min bids maybe, but otherwise makes sense as a team. Yeah, I will say mid to like.
There we go. Stream is back, J-Scare's back, all is wonderful. So yeah, I think you were saying how Lux as a price, or at least that's what I think you were saying.
No, I was saying I think this is the most realistic roster I've seen. I like these prices, and I think it makes sense, like stylistically as a team as well.
Well, hey, and then Huge Power is probably the one that I'm most unsure on in terms of what I did. So
holy crap! I see Genesect on the team. No, I mean, I still think you're probably high on Roller K because I'm not sure he's won a team tour game yet. Probably gonna happen. Marshy, that all makes sense to me. Like Venga coming back after DVG also makes sense. I think he was pretty decent there. So yeah, I mean, the players make a lot of sense. I think Sablo has historically shown to be cheaper. If there's at least two teams that are still like pretty high on TDG, I do think he could end up more expensive.
It's just because he's not playing that I'm like,
yeah.
Do I really see them going like 25k for 4 weeks of TDG? I don't.
Right. So that makes sense. And then Wombo, I think, might be a little inexpensive. And they have like an extra 2.5k budget, so I think that might actually end up on Wombo, but like...
Alrighty, I think we're back now. Yep. So I am actually going to take this opportunity to wrap things up here because that is everything that we wanted to do. It took 5 attempts, many attempts of buffering, and I think I've learnt my lesson of let's not do this super often, if ever again. But it is something fun I wanted to do because it is DPL week, and my one big question from you guys is, what do you want to see from me in terms of for DPL? Like, what kind of content? Because I think I've had some interesting ideas so far this year in terms of content, but I'm definitely running out of them. Hopefully you guys will stick around for any other DPL related content that I do. If you haven't seen the TJ Throwbacks with L5 yet that I uploaded yesterday, do check it out if you're interested. And I will see you another time. Happy auctioning, everyone. Have fun. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.